Hey everyone, Anthon-patapon here, and we're finally on my PS4. I know I'm very well aware that you may have seen a video from Parappa the Rapper 2, which was from the PS2 to on PS4 kind of thing, and you can see the remasters I have. But my thing is ultimately just a PS2 machine, at least until I got Ratchet and Clank and Uncharted 4. But none of those games are what I'm here for. You know what I'm here for? You already know.
Activision presents a smashing blast from the past. Developed by Vicarious Visions. It's Crash Bandicoot!
Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy for the Sony PS4. Alright. Now, I have played this game far ahead of time. Like, I played all 3 levels. I platinumed all 3 games. I said levels. All the games. I put tears into this runs. Sorry, I'm just really... I'm kind of really excited. I'm trying to calm myself down. Alright. So, we're finally here.
It's Crash Bandicoot!
But we're not playing that.
It's Crash Bandicoot 2! Cortex Strikes Back!
And we're not playing this because I'm going on a journey to do 106%, 105%, I'm sorry. I got Rapid Cortex still stuck in the brain. And then there's these two, the first two, Crash Bandicoot and Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, where these two are now 102% because of the new added relics they added to these 2 games. But the one I'm most familiar with and the one we're going to start with is The Legend of Ambition itself.
It's Crash Bandicoot Warped!
What an amazing game this has been on the Insane Trilogy. It is now time to start playing.
Free at last. Uka Uka is free? No, it cannot be. Evil, great evil has come. None have dared fail the great Uka Uka even once. But you, Cortex, you have failed me twice. Great Uka Uka. It was that infernal Bandicoot. From deep inside my deadly prison, I sent you simple instructions to follow. But you lost the gems, you lost the crystals, and I have lost my patience. There is now no other power source left on this planet. I know we've had a few unfortunate setbacks. And failed. But since your bumbling has managed to set me free, I am feeling generous. There is still a way to amass the power needed to enslave this miserable planet. And this time, the great Uka Uka will make sure that you do it right. evil twin brother, Uka Uka, has been freed from his underground prison. Long ago, I locked him there to protect the world from his malice. Now, free once again, he must be stopped. Children, Uka Uka and Cortex plan to use this time-twisting machine to gather crystals that lay scattered across time. I have brought you here to recover the crystals before they do. To open the time portal, simply stand on a button and then jump into the portal. Good luck.
Ah, just like the old days, huh? Yep. Alright, so now we're gonna play through the first warp room, including all 5 levels in here, and then a boss, and of course we end the part from there. Or will we? But before we get to that, let's get started. Or should I say, let's get warped!
Crash, crash, crash. Why must you always muck in my mud? Oh, look! I have a mask helping me, too. We will find out which one is more powerful soon enough.
Ah, yes. Such beauty. And the best part is, look at this. Look at all this. It's just beautiful. I mean, granted, I'm only recording this in 720, but like, when you look at this in 1080, I guarantee you it is the most beautiful thing. And the thing is, this game is also compatible PlayStation Pro, so 4K will probably look even more amazing with all the fur details and everything. Man, it feels so good to be playing Crash again after so long. Especially since like the most I've ever played like with Crash recently was like the GBA title of Crash of the Titans. Then there was the one for Crash of Titans DS. I did play the console once too. Then there was Mind Over Mutant, which also included the DS version. But those were fun, don't get me wrong. And they do have a place, and I do feel like they will still have a place in Crash history. Even if it is like a different timeline or whatever, but I'm gonna admit, playing the old Crash, I missed this so much. I mean, I obviously could just go back, like it's no big deal, but now with this being out, you don't have to worry about that. Because I know that there's some people that are worried about like emulation and stuff like that. And now they don't feel like they have to go back then because, I mean, granted, you could just get a PS1 if that's the case, or a PS2 even, PS3 even. Like any of those consoles could do for playing like the definitive Crash games. But hey, if you want to play it with the HD experience, here you go. But that's not the big thing here. This time I'm gonna focus on commentary for those who are like old to the series and those who are like completely new to Crash. Because I am now aware that there are people who follow like this channel, well not follow but subscribe basically. Either way works, follow, subscribe, whatever. They follow this channel and they've not even know what you could really do with it outside of like watching like Wrath of Cortex. And let me tell you, even though I have fun with Wrath of Cortex, I will admit that through its rush development, it is kind of flawed. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this beautiful experience. Now, as I mentioned before, I am going to go for 105% with all relics being platinum. For those that don't know what the relics are, relics, actually I can just show you what they are by just going back and letting Aku do the talking for me.
Crash, Coco, if you have already retrieved a levels crystal, then you will find a floating clock when you enter for the second time. This floating clock activates time trial mode. Grab it and the clock will start ticking. Race for the end to get the best time, but beware, some elements will change.
Alright, so after letting him do that explaining, it's now time for Under Pressure. Now, I'm not going to do the whole warp thing every time, but only when the part starts on the first level I enter to. And if you like it, I'm glad you do. But if you don't, well, you could just start on the first level. Like, it's not hard to just skip over it, you know? You're not going to miss too much of me when it comes to intros. I don't do updates like a lot of good YouTubers out there. So, just keep that in mind. So, welcome to the underwater section of Crash Bandicoot Warped. Now, something you may have noticed right away, I did not, even when I got an Aku box, I did not get invincibility. That is because, unlike Graphic Cortex, the game was designed specifically so you cannot just blaze through the level in order to with an Aku box. No, I don't think I'm explaining that perfectly. That the level was designed so you can't just blaze through the entire level with some form of invincibility. You can still go through it very fast if you get on this new mech. Well, not new, only if you're new to the game, on Crash in general. But this thing right here, it looks different too, now that I think about it. Like, just a little bit different. Now, this thing is required in order to get all the boxes. If you lose this, you're gonna lose access to all the boxes that are stuck in reefs. There's no way of hitting it with normal spinning. Now, there's three things you can do on this thing. You can press X to shoot, square to shoot. Well, yeah, X and square to shoot. But then you can use circle to boost. Circle isn't mandatory, but I can guarantee you that you will thank me later when it comes to the time trials. So start using those more often. Even in the form of just normal play, you can use it for the sake of practicing how you can go through everything. Now, those rotating boxes you saw earlier. Well, I'm not sure if you can call it a rotating box or revolving box, whatever. Anyway, what happens with those is that they keep spinning. Like, they'll just keep spinning. But if you get closer, they'll start spinning. You'll notice that they'll start spinning faster. If you don't hit them in time when they go to an insanely fast way, they turn into an unbreakable box. Meaning that there's no way you can break that box, and that means you have to start the level all over again if you want to get the box gem. In most situations. Alright, so let's get into another level. Alright, let's go, Crash. Wait, huh? Oh, okay. Coco? Alright. Alright, you got this. And that's it. Like, now I wish I could show off the loading screen so I could show you guys the hints and everything they have for the game. But really, because of how long the loading screens are, you're gonna have to miss out on them. Don't worry, I will tell you if you want to know how to get through these things just fine. But the game does explain what you need to press in order to do that thing, you know, function. Now here we have a Purah level where Coco, Crash's sister, is riding on a tiger named Purah. Because I want to make sure you guys aren't confusing Aku with Purah. Basically, Purah is just like a cat that befriends Coco, and on Coco only, much like how Polar only befriends Crash. Well, I'm not sure if you could call him befriended because Polar gets scared when he sees Crash, and when you get off, he doesn't like do the thing that Coco will do to Purah after we finish the level. No, he gets terrified. It's kind of scary even. Oh no! Gotta restart the level. Well, not this level, but to the last checkpoint, which unfortunately means we lose Aku. So yeah, you gotta be prepared to be to react to where you need to jump. Funny thing about it, actually I'll talk about that in the next Purah and Coco section. Because I do think that'll be a little bit more important to explain there, since this one's just fairly basic. I do like that little animation they got for Coco now. Instead of it just like, she pulls it out and it just jumps in the air. Like, much better. Oh, and by the way, she actually does have the new Coco's voice actor in this game. I forgot, but it's the same one that voices Jimmy Neutron, so you might be able to recognize him. So, let's do it.
Uka Uka and Cortex want Tiny get crystals and bring them to big Colosseum in Rome. Crash! Leave them for Tiny, or Crash get crushed!
Alright. Simple stuff. Oh yeah, with the new crouching ability that was added in Crash 2, you can now slide, jump, and then when you I think it's right after you do press jump, you slide your finger to spin, and you can jump even higher than you would with the crouching jump. Look at how high that was. It actually managed to top that top there. Now here, you're running from a Triceratops. I mean, you guys know how this works, right? Touch the Triceratops, you're dead because it's like the boulder in the first Crash game. So it's one, like, Crash 3 definitely has its own little chase scenes. Something I haven't explained yet is the whole time thing. Like, the levels themselves obviously are based off of, like, specific time periods. But I never really explained these time periods because I'm not sure if you guys are getting this from your, like, education, like, from your teachers and such. Actually, I want to hit that after I get the checkpoint. But, like, this time over here is basically the prehistoric area. Well, I mean, era and area, because we're in a level, but basically the prehistoric era. A time where humans have not existed until, apparently after a meteor struck millions of years later, civilization started to begin. Well, not civilization, but like the form of mankind has started to begin. But I think that was after this time where there was where there's like nothing but ocean life. And that's where we get into this whole evolution thing. And honestly, I think I'll just skip that because I definitely don't want to get into trouble by teaching something you may have not learned from school yet. But here we go, bonus round. Collect all the boxes and possibly all the one before you want, and you can get as many lives as you can. You can come back after we're done with this level to get even more lives. If you die in a bonus round, no worries. You can retry again, and it won't even count out as a penalty for stuff we'll get to later. Okay. Ooh. You see that swamp monster down there? Well, the guy disguised as a swamp monster. You gotta be careful with those guys. They are only designed to stop you in your path. Or to find the crystal. But in this case, they're designed to stop you in your path. Okay. Now we're gonna run from the Triceratops again. By the way, if you couldn't tell, touching the Triceratops is instant death, so you want to be careful against this thing. It doesn't try to speed up against you or anything like that. All you gotta really do is just slide jump, and maybe you won't have to worry about them too much. Ooh, that was too close. Okay. As you can see, there was a gem that we have not gotten from this area. That's because we're going to need another gem in order to access that gem. And that's not always going to be the case for whenever you see a level having 2 gems. And as you can see, we're not going for the relics yet because we require a specific power. Welcome to a jet ski level. All you gotta do is accelerate and do air tricks when you get on these ramps. It's as simple as it can get. And of course you can use the L-stick to turn when you're on the water. But I don't think I didn't need it to mention it, do I? Just in case, because I'm aware that there are some games that use buttons to move instead of like the control, like the D-pad and stuff like that. Oh no! Oh, too close. Too close for comfort. Alright, so now we gotta watch out for this seagull. The seagull's gonna cause us some problems. If you get too close to the seagull when you're trying to get the box, it'll just peck on you, and that's about it for death. Cause at first I thought it was gonna peck you, then it pecks the machine, and then it blows up or something like that. But no, that's not what happens. That would have been cooler, but that's not what happens. And obviously you don't want to touch the bombs, but I don't think I needed to mention that, do I? Oh no! Oh no! Okay. Yeah, there's not really much else to do in this. Just move, avoid everything that can possibly try to stop you. And I definitely don't want to leave here without getting the gem box. I mean, box gem. Can you imagine there being gem boxes in this game? That'd be kind of cool. At least in a more concept kind of way, not an actual practice. Alright, and now we're here on our first boss. Better let Coco finish up on getting everything. Alright, thank you, Coco. And now, Tiny Tiger.
Crash! Coco! Stole the pretty crystals! Tiny, take them back in Gladiator Arena!
Okay, so yeah, there's Cortex up there watching the whole thing for some reason, instead of actually helping. Then there's the minions, which I can understand just being there for the sake of the authenticity of helping us out. Break out the lion's den! These things don't really move in any other direction, but if you mess up the timing of the spin, well, that's death. Because lions are not very favorable when it comes to seeing us. Like, they do not think we're friendly at all. Plus, they are kind of territorial as well, even the more domesticated ones. So, you definitely want to be more careful in getting the timing down. Unless you want to be lion food, which I know you don't, so don't lie. And then there's the Tiger Tiny. I don't know how that works. Oh, wow, that let it right on me. Alright, I'll take it. Belly flop, let's go. And that's really all that this move does. It gives you a more powerful belly flop. Just time the move, and you get that belly flop distance. And even leaves a little bit of a mark when you land. Oh yeah, fun thing you can do, for at least the time being, is actually just... Now, obviously, you can't toss them in the portal, because that would be bad for us. But that's about it.
Well done,
By defeating Tiny, you have unlocked the gate to the next time travel area. Go back to the center of this time twister and save your progress if you wish. From there, you will see that the gate to the second time travel area is now open.
Something about that is that that's actually something they just decided to directly translate into, you know, the HD pretty much trilogy, because you can't just go over here and try saving this way. You can go at any point and just save and with the L2 button. I'm gonna save over this because that one I wanted to start again, but I was like, you know what? This game actually is pretty fun. I might as well just do a playthrough this. And look at that, 11% just from that one warp room. Excellent progress. But now there are two things I want to show you. One, warp room 2, which looks like an Indian area because there's actually an Indian setting here in level 7 known as Hingham High. Now this isn't the only Indian level in here, it's just the only one in this warp room, which kind of seems weird. Like I kind of think that you will put like all this inside a specific warp room, but whatever, it's nothing to really nitpick about. As of right now, we can't access any of these, no matter how high you try. Let's see. No, you can't. You can't. Now, the other thing I want to show you is that Coco, even though she looks like she's standing there from the original, you can actually talk to her, and you can have her join in your adventure. So for the first time, well, you know, since Rafa Cortex, Coco is now completely in your control this time around. Well, not since Rafa Cortex, but since Mind Over Mutant via 2-player. But yeah, now you have complete control over Coco in a real adventure area instead of like just party games and stuff like that. Party games, racing games, all that stuff. This is easily the coolest thing about one of the coolest things about the entire trilogy. But yeah, I'm kind of wasting time here. So is that Total Says Well, so I don't thank you guys for watching, and next time we'll take care of Warp 2. So yeah, bye.